Have you ever heard of a great flood that submerged the entire world? A deluge so vast that only a single ark remained afloat, carrying the last hope of life? This is not just a story from the Bible, but a legend that appears in many ancient civilizations across the world. The story tells that in ancient times, when the world was filled with corruption and humanity had fallen into depravity, God decided to cleanse the earth with a catastrophic flood. Yet, among millions of people, only one man was chosen to preserve life: Noah. He was given a seemingly impossible task: to build a massive ark to save his family and all species of animals. But did this event truly happen? If so, what scientific evidence suggests that such a great flood once occurred? And more intriguingly, why does this story appear in so many cultures, from Mesopotamia and India to China? Let's uncover the mysteries behind the Great Flood and Noah's Ark through the lens of history, science, and spirituality. The story goes that in ancient times, the world descended into chaos. Humanity grew increasingly corrupt, filled with sin and violence. Wickedness spread everywhere, to the point where God could no longer tolerate it. And so, he decided to cleanse the earth with a great flood, wiping out all life to start anew. But among all, there was one righteous and faithful man, Noah. God commanded him to build a massive ark, large enough to shelter his family and all the animals on earth. This was not just a test of physical endurance, but also a test of faith: building the ark. God instructed Noah on how to construct the ark. It would be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, a colossal size for its time. Yet, as Noah and his family worked tirelessly day and night, the people around them mocked him. They refused to believe his warnings about the impending flood. Despite the ridicule, Noah remained steadfast in his obedience to God. When the ark was finally completed, God commanded him to bring in pairs of every animal, one male and one female, to ensure the continuation of life after the flood. And then, the fateful moment arrived. The Great Flood. The rain began to fall. But this was no ordinary rain. It poured continuously for 40 days and 40 nights. The ocean swelled, and water engulfed everything, submerging houses, villages, and cities. Even the tallest mountains were covered. The entire world was consumed by the flood, and no one could escape its wrath. Aboard the ark, Noah and his family waited in silence. The waves raged violently, yet the ark remained steadfast, a final refuge preserving life. They lived within its walls for months, unsure of when the waters would recede. Searching for land. One day, after the rain had stopped, Noah decided to release a raven to search for any sign of land. However, the raven flew back and forth, finding no place to rest. Then, he sent out a dove. The first time, it returned with no sign of land. But on the second attempt, the dove came back carrying an olive branch in its beak. This meant that the waters had begun to recede and land was emerging. Finally, when the floodwaters had fully subsided, the ark came to rest on the peak of a mountain, believed to be Mount Ararat today. Noah and his family stepped out, setting foot on dry land after spending so long adrift on the endless sea. God's promise. As soon as Noah and his family built an altar to give thanks to God, a miraculous event occurred. A brilliant rainbow appeared in the sky. God made a covenant with humanity, promising that he would never again destroy the world in such a way. The rainbow became a symbol of forgiveness, hope, and a new beginning. From that moment on, Noah's descendants multiplied, ushering in a new chapter for humanity, rising from the ruins of the Great Flood. But was this merely a myth, or did it actually happen? Let's continue to explore in the next section. We have just heard the story of Noah and the Ark of Salvation, but an important question arises. Did this great flood actually happen, or is it merely a symbolic legend? Many cultures around the world have similar stories of a massive flood that wiped out life. If this were just a biblical tale, why do nearly identical stories appear across multiple civilizations? 1. Global flood myths. In Mesopotamian mythology, the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known literary works, also tells of a massive flood. In the story, a god warns a man named Utnapishtim to build a boat to save humanity and animals. In Indian mythology, a similar tale is found in the story of Manu. The god Vishnu, in the form of a fish, warns Manu of an impending flood and helps him build a boat to preserve life. Chinese legends also speak of a great flood that lasted for years, only ending when Emperor Yu successfully constructed an elaborate system of dams and levees. Clearly, the concept of a great flood is not exclusive to the Bible. It seems deeply embedded in humanity's collective memory. But is there scientific evidence proving that a global flood ever occurred? 2. Scientific evidence of a massive flood. Scientists and archaeologists have proposed several theories that could explain the origins of these flood narratives. The Black Sea Hypothesis. Around 7,000 to 8,000 years ago, sea levels rose dramatically, submerging the area surrounding what is now the Black Sea. Some scientists believe this event could have been the inspiration for the Great Flood legend. The end of the last ice age, approximately 12,000 years ago, melting glaciers released vast amounts of water, causing catastrophic floods that engulfed low-lying regions. This could have contributed to the widespread flood myths found in various civilizations. Archaeological discoveries in Mesopotamia. In 1929, archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley discovered a 2.5-meter thick layer of clay beneath the ancient city of Ur, modern-day Iraq, indicating a significant flood that occurred around 5,000 years ago. This finding supports the theory that a great flood did take place in history. Thus, while there may not have been a flood that submerged the entire Earth, there is strong evidence of massive ancient floods that could have inspired the Noah's Ark story. 3. Noah's Ark, fact or myth? Another question arises. If a great flood did happen, could Noah's Ark have existed in reality? The Bible describes the ark as being approximately 135 meters long, 22.5 meters wide, and 13.5 meters high. Comparable in size to a modern large ship. Researchers have built models based on these dimensions and found that such a vessel could theoretically float and withstand large waves. However, there is a major challenge. A wooden ship of this size would have struggled to remain structurally sound without metal reinforcements. Historically, the largest wooden ships ever built required iron frames to maintain their integrity. Additionally, storing enough food and fresh water for Noah's family and hundreds, or even thousands of animal species for over 150 days poses another logistical problem. Even modern ships would struggle with such a feat without advanced food preservation and water filtration systems. Number 4. Why does this story matter? Even if Noah's Ark is not a historically precise event, the story carries profound spiritual and philosophical significance. It symbolizes a new beginning, where humanity faces the consequences of its mistakes and is given a chance to start over. It serves as a lesson in foresight and preparedness, as Noah believed in divine warnings while others mocked him. Ultimately, it is a story of hope and promise, with the rainbow appearing as a sign of forgiveness and rebirth. So, what do you think? Is the Great Flood merely a symbolic tale, or was it inspired by a real historical event? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Spiritual and symbolic meaning. The story of Noah is not just a legend about a great flood. It carries profound spiritual and symbolic meanings. First, the Great Flood symbolizes purification and renewal. Water, in most religious traditions, represents cleansing, the removal of the old to create a new beginning. Humanity had strayed too far into corruption, and the flood served as a means of purging the world, paving the way for a fresh start. Second, Noah's Ark is a symbol of faith and salvation. While the world was submerged in chaos, the Ark became a sanctuary, a divine protection for those who listened and prepared. On a deeper level, it can represent human consciousness. If one maintains purity and resilience amid life's storms, they can overcome any trial. Finally, the rainbow after the storm carries a message of mercy and hope. It is a sign of forgiveness, a promise that the world will never be destroyed in such a way again. In life, no matter how many storms we endure, there is always an opportunity to start over, to find light after the darkest days. So, how do you perceive this story? Is it merely a myth, or does it hold deeper lessons about faith, perseverance, and hope? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Through the story of Noah and the Great Flood, we have not only explored a religious myth, but also uncovered striking parallels across cultures, intriguing scientific evidence, and profound spiritual meanings. Whether you believe this was a real historical event or a symbolic tale, its message remains powerful. Faith can help people overcome challenges, preparation is crucial in the face of adversity, and after every storm, a new beginning awaits. What about you? Do you think the Great Flood actually happened? Or is it simply a moral lesson? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss upcoming videos on history, spirituality, and mysterious stories. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.